Hello everyone. Today our discussion about basic concepts of accounts. So at first we supposed to know what is accounts. So I have recorded here uh, meaning of accounts, what are financial transaction, what is goods, some basic idea we will provide today. So at first, what is accounts? The systematic recording, reporting and analysis of financial transactions of a business. So it means when we are recording systematically, we are preparing some report, we are analyzing any sub financial transactions of the business. So this is known as accounts. And now financial transactions means the events which are measurable in terms of money. Okay, they are financial transaction. That means any events which are measurable in terms of money, which we can measure in terms of money, they are financial transaction. Suppose example, purchase of some goods, sales of goods, payment of rent and salary, etc., taking loan from bank, paying interest on loan, etc. So these all are our financial transaction. These all events are measurable in terms of money. We can measure these in terms of money. So they are financial transactions. So any transactions which are measurable in terms of money, they are financial transactions, and they are only to be recorded in our accounts. Now come to you next part, what are events? Events which are not measurable in terms of money, they are not recorded in accounts. For example, death of an employee, placing an order for goods, etc. As because when we place an order, if we haven't made any advance payment, they are not to be recorded in the books. So when we are placing any order, if we are paying some advance, then we will record in our book, because that becomes a financial transaction. But when we are placing order but we are not giving them any advance money, then it is not a financial transaction, so you don't have to record that. Okay, so conclusion for till here, only the financial transactions to be recorded in accounts. Now come to our next part, what is goods? Okay, so goods means the person deals with is goods for him. It means that if the person, I am giving you an example, when a person engaged in furniture business, for him furniture is goods. But for the person who purchased those furniture, for him it is assets. That means the person deals with, suppose you are having a jewelry shop, that means for you jewelry is goods, but the person who is purchasing those jewelry, for him it is assets. So goods differs from person to person. The person deals with is goods for him. Now come to your goods, the various situations, what name we supposed to give for goods. Now goods, when we purchase from the market or from the wholesaler, then it is to be known as purchase. Suppose you are dealing with furniture, if you are purchasing furniture for selling them, then it is to be recorded as purchase. But after purchase, if you find some of the furniture are damaged and if you want to refund those furniture, then it is termed as purchase return. That means when you are returning those to your supplier, it's to be known as purchase return. When you are selling those furniture to your customer, it is to be recorded as sales. That means goods to be recorded in accounts. When you are purchasing those, name it at purchase. When you are returning those to your supplier, then say that purchase return. When you are selling those to your customer, then name it sales. When you are donating some, then say that charity. When you are giving some free sample to your customers, probable customers, when you are giving to your probable customers, then it is advertisement. When you are using that for your personal use, then it is your drawings. And when your customer return goods to you, then it is to be termed as sales return. So these are the various names that we are using for goods in accounts. That means when a person deals with a commodity, for him it is goods, and for goods in different situation, a person supposed to name the goods in different situation as per the requirement. When they are returning to supplier, then they will use this term purchase return. When they are selling their products, then they to their customer, then they will name it as sales. So this is the different name. Next we will go to capital and drawing. Now what is capital? When amount introduced by the owner from his personal source to business, it is capital. It means when a person invests money in his business, that is the capital. And when it is drawing, now when amount withdrawn by the owner for his personal purpose, it is drawing. And that means when he withdrew money from the business for his personal requirement, it is drawing. That means when a person brings capital from his personal source, it is capital. And when he withdrew money from business for personal use, it is drawings. Next is your debtors and creditors. The person to whom we sold goods on credit are our customers, and our customers are known as debtors. See here, the person to whom we sold goods on credit, our customers are our debtors. And creditors, who are our creditors? The person from whom we purchase goods on credit, our supplier, are our creditors. That means when we are selling out any goods on credit, they are our debtors. And when we purchase goods from someone on credit, those suppliers are known as creditor. Next come to your cash transactions and credit transaction. So when we purchase or sold and we pay or receive cash or credit or receive payment instantly, they are cash transaction. That means when we are purchasing or when we are selling and instantly there is cash payment or by check or by any mode of electronic payment, then they are cash transaction. And when we purchase or sold and we will pay or receive cash after few days, they are our credit transaction. That means we are purchasing today or selling today, but money we will not receive today, we will receive after some days, then they are our credit transaction. Now come to your next part, assets. What are assets? Now when any money spent and benefit to be received for more than 1 year, they are our assets. That means when we are spending any money and that benefit we supposed to get for more than 1 year, they are our assets. And another is when any amount to be received in future or benefit to be received in future, they are our also assets. Suppose if you have made any advance payment to someone, that means you supposed to get the benefit from him in future. Suppose you are having some bank balance, cash balance, stock which you could use in future, so you will get some benefit in future, they are your assets. So here are some examples of assets: plant and machinery, furniture and fixtures, building. When we used to purchase this plant, machinery, furniture, building, we supposed to get benefit for more than 1 year, so they are our assets. Now debtors means the customer to whom we have sold goods on credit, so we supposed to receive cash in future from them. If we are having some cash balance, bank balance, stock, so we supposed to get benefit in future from these all assets. And prepaid expenses, when we paid any advance payment to someone, we supposed to get benefit from them. So these all are our assets. Okay, next come to your next concept, which is your expenditures and expenses. Expenditures means when any amount spent and benefit to be received for more than 1 year, that is expenditure are made to purchase assets. Just now we read there कि what are assets. Now when we spend any amount and benefit to be received for more than 1 year, they are our assets. So expenditures are made to purchase some assets. And what are expenses? Now when any amount spent and benefit to be received within the year, expenses are incurred to maintain the business firm. That means when we are making any expense, that means we supposed to get benefit from that within the 1 year. That means if we are paying salary, suppose here I have mentioned some example, electric bill, rent, salary, etc. So these are the expenses because recurringly we have to pay this. In each month we supposed to pay this. So these are recurring in nature. And machinery, furniture, building, etc. These all are our expenditures. These all are non-recurring in nature. These are non-recurring in nature. Now come to your next and last part of today's discussion is losses. When any amount spent but no benefit is received, they are our losses. Suppose you have spent some money but due to some reason you can't get any benefit from that expenses, then that becomes our losses. So losses are of two types, a normal loss and second one is your abnormal loss. What is this normal loss? Normal losses are unavoidable. Matlab, you have to bear these normal losses. You can't avoid this normal loss. And abnormal losses, losses which are avoidable through insurance. These you can avoid if you are doing insurance on your this type of losses. Then insurance company is supposed to give you the insurance claim, not full amount but to an extent, so we can avoid that abnormal loss. And these are non-insurable. Non-insurable means you can make insurance for normal losses, and which are insurable in case of abnormal loss, because for abnormal loss we can't predict that there will be loss in future, so we can make insurance on that. But normal loss are probable. Probable means here it will occur, there will be some losses, maybe some little or more, but there must be some normal losses, so they are non-insurable. They are not recorded in books of account. Normal loss is not recorded, but they are recorded in books of account. Abnormal loss are recorded in books of account. And at last I have given you an example how we supposed to calculate normal loss and abnormal loss of so if there is 100 apples and 10 rupees is the cost, so total amount is your 1000. If transportation expenses is 100, so total 1100 we spend for 100 apples, so price of per apple is your 11 rupees each. Now there is normal loss of 10 apples. Okay, normal loss we are not recording in accounts, so this is 1100 only. Now the unit is quantity becomes 90 apples, so now the rate per apple, cost per apple will increase because 10 apples have already lost, so 12.22 becomes my per unit cost. Now if there is abnormal losses of 10 apples, now these abnormal losses to be calculated in unitary method, or just you can say 10 apples per unit cost is your 12.22. now just get it multiplied, you will get 122.22. so I have recorded here 122 only, so approx. Okay, next is your 80 apples cost rupees 12.22, that it becomes 9.78. So this is how we supposed to calculate normal loss and abnormal loss. In case of normal loss, quantity only get reduced, not amount. But in case of abnormal loss, quantity also reduced and abnormal loss will also reduce the total amount. Okay, thank you.